It's gonna be a Pro Mod update, but let's go see what's going on over here first. Dave's so loud.
And then when I get like an idea in my head, I have to finish it. Like, I'm gonna build this box, I just go crazy. You know, Jim?
You know?
Oh, you missed my other car collection.
I did miss it. Well, I got one of them. I think the Corvette's gonna be the intro. Real quick, fab table's here. We got to build that. Finish the stand and all the stuff for the bender. That thing's amazing. But really, we're over here to just check on the Fox real quick. So fuel tank, got the main bar around the fuel tank, so it's gonna tuck there. It looks really good from the front. Like, you don't really notice it. He's got a nice billet lid that's going on it. Headers are completely done, welded, collectors, V-bands, everything. They're both done. They turned out awesome. So, and then started, the merge is gonna be there. So I plan on building the hot side. I don't know if that'll get into this video, but here, check that out. It's looking good with the front end on. I think this is the first time maybe I've gotten it with the front end in. Dave, how's it going, buddy? Oh, dude, check out this box. I need to do like a toolbox review on it, right? I did one of those on my channel.
Did you?
Yeah, it was awful. Don't ever do a toolbox video. No one cares.
Listen, if you need your Lexan done, don't hit me up.
Oh yeah, Dave.
I'm booked for the year.
Watch out. Dave put a new Lexan in there. I think they look good.
I'm booked for the year.
Booked for the year.
I wish this
Just don't close the door.
I wish it had the metal frame so I can get the little clippy deals,
Ooh,
you know?
that's nice, yeah.
But you don't need those with frame doors.
No, you don't need those on street cars. Don't need those on street cars. So we did a little rearranging around here. Still don't have a welder cart. But yeah, this car, we got it. This is quote unquote the chassis spot. We're probably gonna get this up on jack stands and start getting on this. And then this is like turbo fabrication spot. I think we got a car coming here, hopefully in the next week or two for a custom twin turbo kit. Did some work. I wish I did some stainless welding on this. I wish they were on, but we got all the turbos and stuff modified, upgraded to some precision turbos on the truck.
Yeah.
Precision turbos, make some more power. Yes, it's the on 3 kit, and then you put precisions on there, but you got to modify the hot side quite a bit to get them to work. But we got that going. So I think that's kind of the update over here, and then we're about to start fixing this car. Schmoopies. Dave's old car. Cameraman ready.
Rock and roll.
Steady hand.
Maybe.
Okay. So, Pro Mod update is the actual purpose of this video here. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been really burning the midnight oil, getting a lot of this done. So, where do we start? I mean, they've seen everything we did back here, I believe, right? Puke tank mounted, plumbed, bulkhead. I believe we've shown all this. We got all the stuff to do the drain. We were waiting to do the drain.
Bulkheads.
I think I showed some of that, but there's an update if you hadn't seen that. So moving up, we need to finish up some of this stuff here, but we got the linkage for the brakes. We need to get a bolt, obviously. The hardware didn't come supplied, but we have brakes now. And we have the cable somewhere.
It's on the table.
But yeah, we got the cable for the throttle. These actually hook up here and like loop around. We're in the process of making a trans cross member, but we fixed a lot of the trans stuff. There was tons of issues with this, but we got all nice new ARP hardware, got all that figured out. The converter's actually in it. We're figuring out spacing. It's a hair off, but it's pretty close.
It's fixable.
It's very fixable. It's not like game changing. It's pretty standard that you either have to go one way or the other. Normally the gap's too big, so you just add a spacer, it's easy. Unfortunately on this one, it's too tight, so we need to machine something. We're waiting to talk to the converter guy. Does he want to machine the converter feet so the converter sits a little farther, or does he want us to machine the crank side? There's actually a spacer in between the flywheel. So we just got to figure out where to machine.
Racecar life. I mean,
very much.
nothing ever bolts in. It always needs to be tweaked.
It's very standard. We cleared up the brake lines. These brake lines used to stick out far. And we got a downpipe that's going to be coming through here, so we needed all the clearance in the world. So clearance those up. EGTs are in. I don't think these were in last video. So welded all the EGTs, got all those plumbed, grommets going through. It's just nice, simple, clean. When they're this tight to the firewall, a big bulkhead I think would actually look worse because you know the wires have to go somewhere else and loop and go into the bulkhead. Or if you do this, like they can just go right through the grommet, and this last one actually goes through the grommet some. Just a little cleaner.
Injector harness.
Injector harness is done and on the car. This is a completely sealed, methanol ready injector harness.
What's completely sealed mean?
So everything, like there's no exposed wires or terminals. So like you use the Raychem heat shrink all the way, use these sealed boots, and then even at the Deutsch connector here in the back, it's got the appropriate Raychem sealed boot on it, so there's no exposed terminals.
And the reason for that is for
Just,
safety?
yeah, fuel leak or something, like it's completely sealed, no sparks, no voltage, nothing bad could happen, no deterioration, so on. It's not exposed to the elements, so on and so forth. Another great thing here, because zoom in here, Racecar life. So these injectors wouldn't fit with these fuel rails, billet atomizers. They wouldn't fit. Like originally the fuel rail was sitting on top of the injector, couldn't get the connector on, injector couldn't move. Now you can see injector moves, you can get the connector clips on and it's not binding up. So I had to clearance all those, just more race car life like.
Two aftermarket parts aren't designed to work together and you have to make them fit.
Exactly, like factory injectors, you know, different locations on everything. Yeah, sure, they'd probably work fine. They probably tested these fuel rails with tons of different injectors. Billet atomizers are big boys, so they're just a little too bulky and they wouldn't fit, so I had to go in and clearance those. And like, I think a lot of people just don't understand when you're building this kind of stuff, like this kind of attention to detail, because this came to us all bolted together and like, oh, you know, someone would think that's just gonna work. Yeah. It's not even close. And like the attention to detail is like, oh, like as I go in there, like, oh, this isn't gonna work. And now you get several hours making this work. And people just don't understand, like this stuff just doesn't bolt together.
No, it doesn't.
At all.
Buying the parts is not even half of it.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I got all the parts, you're ready to go. It's like, oh, that's not even close. Blow-off valves, we'll start here, got those welded, mocked up and done. So now this cold side is completely done. I think these turned out awesome. Yeah, I think these are great. From the front, so I guess now we'll showcase the awesome work down here, the hard line.
That took just a little bit of time.
That took a little bit of time. I had a vision for this, and Brady just killed the execution. We went through a couple revisions to get where we're at. But like this whole thing, so Brady did the blow-off valves, the hard lines, the dump tubes, and it just completes the turbo kit. Like I think this looks amazing. I'm super happy with how it turned out.
Well, thanks. So am I.
Yeah. The hard lines, you know, I originally thought about it. It's like, man, this is gonna be front and center. Like, I think just a bunch of push locks and hose. It's just not gonna look good.
It would have looked horrible.
It just wouldn't look good. So I had the idea for the hard line, and then like I said, we went through a few iterations to make it how it is. But I think it turned out awesome. And now the kit's fully welded. The hot side's 100% welded. The gates are welded. And then the dump tubes are welded. They're flush cut. He just showed that. Like everything's done on the turbo kit now. Like
oil feed, oil return.
Yeah, oil feed, oil returns are. Sorry, not on. Oil feed, oil returns, all done. Plumbed underneath the intake. Nice T, Y. It's all good.
We're waiting on fuel hoses.
Yeah, and actually the whole fuel system's plumbed. We actually bought all the fittings, but we're doing crimp on this. So we don't have a crimper yet, soon hopefully, but so we send it all off. They'll actually crimp it, no charge for it, you just ship it to them, they crimp it. Brady marked it all up and got it all ready, so it's all on its way there. So the whole fuel system's done. We got the fuel tank, we're about to build the cage for that and kind of finish that up, but like, as you can see, we're getting really close on this thing. But yeah, turbo kit's done, so I guess let's go talk wiring now.
Yeah, you put in some hours on that.
Oh, have I ever. So I don't even know where to start.
Well, what are we looking at?
Yeah, we're looking at a mess still. I'm not quite there, but I mean, here's the two main harnesses. So this would be like your actual normal Holley harness that comes with your kit. This is for like all your normal sensors. O2, crank cam, IET, injectors, coils, that's this harness. So I cut it up and I actually have all the ends and I have it all mapped out. But this actually goes to the bulkhead. So I have this plumbed, so I mean we could even come look real quick. So this would plug into the dominator here down low, and then it goes up to the bulkhead like that. So that's what this is. I'm about to loom this one, but you can see, so the secondary harness here on the ground is the one I loomed first. So this is all the extra stuff. These don't come, with your Holley, or you can't buy this one.
Extra like sensors, ride height.
Correct. So this has everything. Yeah, I made this one from scratch, but this has everything as far as tire track temp, drive shaft speed, shock sensors front and back, trans pressures, trans temps, oil temp, back pressure sensors on the front, front wheel speed, laser ride height on the front, like all the extra sensors are here. So like, the back harness, drive shaft, all the sensors is for a G meter. The front side, this will, control all the solid state relays for like your dump valves. This connector's for the trans pressures and sensors, and then all this is also going to the bulkhead, so it'll go out into the front engine bay.
Now, did you plan anything for future sensors or future upgrades?
So since this is like, sealed harnesses, loom, heat shrink and everything, I try to plan for future expandability so no one has to go and cutting into this harness. So there's extra spots for 5-volt sensors, front, mid, and rear, several. There's extra spots for temp sensors, front and rear, extra spots for frequencies if you want to add more wheel speeds or other speeds and whatnot. So all that is in this harness ready to go. And then, so working on that, like if you come over here, like a lot of the work is actually pre-planning everything. So like here's some of my, stuff where I'm labeling like where stuff's going, the bulkheads and matching them out, and like where everything pins to, and then what color the wires are, and then just going through and labeling everything. And this is like my work in progress. So when the customer, they'll actually get finished, laminated copies of all this that's actually nicely done up. So we're in the middle of the harness, but like this is the bulk of the wiring work. Once I loom this other one, get those in, I would say, I'm gonna be 75+% done, because doing the connectors and finishing the harnesses out to the sensors, that goes pretty quick. That's not necessarily hard. It's all the planning and the main harness is where all the work is. I guess in a nutshell, that's probably pretty close to where we're at on the Pro Mod. Got the starter fit, it didn't fit. Got the oil pan, bungs added, the fuel pump custom fittings done, the filter mounted. Like a lot of this is just, work in progress. All the puke tank to the back, it's all plumbed and done. You can see all the fittings for it. And just, regulators mounted, the fittings are on it, and the sensors, and it's all ready. We got all the fittings and sensors in the intake for the blow-off valves and the fuel pressure regulators. Just, it's never ending fittings and sensors. Every day it seems we're ordering just tons of sensors and fittings. And
You've made a lot of progress.
Tons of progress.
2 to 3 weeks. It's really started to come together.
Oh yeah, tons of progress. I think the big items left now, wiring.
How about this guy?
Trans cross member.
That little guy.
Yeah, I gotta finish him. So the Turbo 400 doesn't clear. So we gotta figure out which way we're gonna go on that.
Yeah,
are we gonna make a new one? Are we gonna notch it?
Yeah, you can see that pan is right where that tube needs to go.
Yeah. And then the mount's actually farther back, but the way the chassis is done, we can't just move it back. So like there's a whole bunch of complications to that. But big ticket items left, like we measured for a drive shaft. Down pipes are probably one of the biggest items left. Other than that, I gotta finish up wiring, we gotta finish up plumbing it. Mount the fuel tank is a so-so item. But I kind of feel like we're almost on the downhill slide of this.
Yeah. You figure whatever machine work we need to do to the converter
And stuff, we got to pull the trans one more time, that kind of stinks.
And then whatever we are going to do with the trans cross member. Like that's the last
Unknown
few things, big items.
And then the downpipes. But the downpipes, I feel are pretty simple fab. Like those aren't going to be anything out of this world. So no, I think the Pro Mod's in a great state. I guess while we're here, we'll just kind of talk about, you know, projects here. You see another silver car here. This is actually Huffman, he's a local guy. I did this turbo kit on this. I don't know if I did a video on it. I wish I had the front bumper so you could see, but we spent a ton of time putting this intercooler where it's at and getting the radiator and everything to fit. You can put the front bumper on and the bottom vents of the 03 Cobra are exposed still, and you don't see the air to water at all, and you get a great airflow straight to the radiator. Tons of time and extras to get it to work like that, and then the turbo where it's at. And then like, it's just a super tight kit. It turned out so awesome. I love how this thing, and he really wanted the fender exit exhaust. So like we just did everything we could to make this how it is. But I did this kit a couple months ago.
And why is it back?
Wiring. So he bought a Holley setup from someone, so it has like all the harness and connectors and everything ready to go for a modular motor. So I'm just helping out and doing like the relay panel and, you know, wiring everything. I took apart the harness and cleaned it up and added Deutsch connectors and made it, you know, just kind of clean it up and get it ready to go. And so we're going to lay the harness in and kind of help him run everything and just kind of help him finish out. He did a lot of the paintwork on the Fox, so, you know, we help each other out and just, yeah, get stuff taken care of. So we're gonna get this one finished up, and then we got a bunch more projects coming. We got a box of the Holley stuff for one of our upcoming customers. Really looking forward to that one. That one's the big surprise secret coming. Everyone's gonna know that car when it gets here.
2023 is going to be a big year for us.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. We got so many great projects and customers lined up. Like, it's gonna be huge. And we're trying to just push the envelope for quality and just doing stuff to the next level that other places aren't doing it. Like, you can take it anywhere and, you know, get a twin turbo kit and, you know, they'll push lock all your lines. And I'm not saying we're not going to push lock lines on a lot of setups. Like, it's just on certain applications when everything is front and center and in your face, like, we want to make sure it looks the best it can.
Yeah.
And we're not scared to spend an extra couple of hours to do it, and we want the customers that are 100% on board with that.
Yep.
We're not here to do it the fastest, cheapest way. That's not our goal or mission. Absolutely not. So, anything else?
Nope.
Close
Close out.
Pro Mod update.
That closes out 2022.
That will be officially, so tonight's New Year's Eve. So actually this will be released tomorrow, 2023.
Wow.
But this closes out 2022. I know my last video was kind of like a year-end video, but there's a Pro Mod update, and then this is the end of 2022. So forward with 2023, more videos coming. You're seeing there's a regular theme now. We're getting tons of work done and getting a lot of stuff moving forward. So you get more content coming, a lot of great content coming. So make sure you like and subscribe. I always say this at the end of the video. I know you say it at the beginning, but all the real subscribers are still around watching. So we will see you guys in the next one.